let's see what is the impact of stock dividend on the share price, EPS, and the ownership stake. So this is an example we are taking. The firm has total of 100,000, 10,000 shares. Okay, the current stock price that the company has is, the current stock price is $15. EPS is $1. The firm has announced 10% stock dividend. Okay, the shareholder, there is a shareholder, his name is Mr. Weber. He owns 100 shares in the firm. What is the impact of the stock dividend on the share price, EPS, and the ownership stake? So let's see how many shares outstanding are before stock dividend. Before stock dividend, the number of shares is 10,000. When we say the 10% stock dividend, that means the number of stocks that are being given is 10% of the earlier share outstanding. So the number of stock that is being given is 1000. So what you will have is 1000 will get added. So the number of stock share outstanding will be 11,000. Here the stock price is $15. Okay, what is the earning per share? Earning per share is mentioned as $1. Okay, so what is the net profit of the company? Net profit of the company will be $1 into share outstanding. So the company's net profit would be $10,000. What would be the P ratio? P ratio is P by E. So it will be 15 divided by 1. So the P ratio is 15 times. Okay, how much is the market capitalization? Market capitalization is the shares outstanding into share stock price. So 15 into 10,000. So it will become $150,000 is the market capitalization. So here we are asking about how much is the shares owned by Mr. Weber. Mr. Weber owns 100 shares in the company. What is the value of the shares? 100. One value is 15, so 100 value would be $1,500. Okay, how much stake he has in the firm? Percentage. So he has 100 shares divided by 10,000. So he has 1% stake in the company. This you can also get by dividing the value of the shares and the value of the firm, that is the market capitalization. You will get the same answer. So the number of percentage of the firm he has is 1%. Okay, now what is the impact on the shares owned by Mr. Weber because of the dividend? So the company is giving dividend, stock dividend, so the number of shares will again it increase by 10% of 100, which is 10. So the number of shares that he will have will be 110. Okay, now will the stock price remain at 15? So the stock price, will it change or will it remain at 15? Please note that the number of shares of the company has increased. So if the share price remain at 15, the value of the company will increase, which is not possible because the company has not done anything to increase its wealth. What it has done is it has just issued new shares. So the company's stock price should not remain the same. What will happen is after the stock dividend also the stock price decreases. Now how much would be the stock price that would be? Now see, please note that when the shares outstanding has increased by 10% or it has become 1.1 time, the stock price should become 1 by 1.1 time, or what I can say is the market capitalization of the company should be the same. There should not be any change in the market capitalization of the company. So market capitalization of the company is this, the number of shares outstanding is this, so the stock price would become 150,000 divided by 11,000. So if you compute it, it would be 150,000 divided by 11,000. So it would be 13.63. So what you will find is the stock price of the company would be 13.63. What can be said about the EPS? Okay, EPS, how we find out? Net profit divided by number of shares. Okay, so your net profit is 10,000, numbers of shares is 11,000. So your EPS will be, please note that there will be no change in the net profit of the company. So your EPS will be this 10,000 divided by 11,000. So you will find that if you compute 10,000 divided by 11,000, so the EPS will be 0.909. So your EPS will be 0.909. Okay, so what would be the P ratio? P ratio would be price divided by EPS, if you compute, this should be equal to 15. There should not be any change in the PE ratio. Okay. Now, how much is the market capitalization? We have seen it should remain the same. Shares owned has increased. How much will be the value of the shares? 110 into 13.63. If you compute 13.63 into 110, it would be 1499. So it will be $1500 because of rounding. So $1500. How much he has wealth in the company? 1500% stake. So his stake would still be 1%. Okay. So what we are seeing is, what is the impact on the share price? Share price will decrease. Okay. How much? What is the impact on EPS? EPS will decrease. What is happening to the ownership stake? Ownership stake will remain the same. There will be no change because of the stock dividend.